here we are back with another video. So today we're going to cover a little bit of leg training. That's going to be 6 days out from the next show. So I'm competing in Munich, the WNBF Europeans. That'll be Sunday. So we've got the times through for that, which is actually going to be, I'll be on stage at about 9:30. So it's going to be a late one. It's going to be a long show on the Sunday. So we'll be documenting some of that as well, going through the weekend, try to run a little bit of a vlog. So we're arriving into Munich on Friday morning, or Friday afternoon, and then we'll be going from there to, we're staying in the hotel, and then on the Saturday we're heading on closer to the venue. On the Saturday then we'll have the polygraph, we'll have check-in, registration, athletes meeting, and then the Sunday is show day. So you'll have all the, this is going to be weird to say, you've all the amateurs, different divisions throughout the course of the day. I think they'll be awarding a pro card there as well. And then in the evening show there'll be myself and a good friend, Andrew Chappelle from Scotland. He's actually competing, representing the UK in the same division as me, so the pro division. There's no weight cut-offs apparently, so it's just going to be me, probably the runt of the litter against some of the other guys, and like it'll be interesting just to see where I stack up there. Obviously, if I was able to get to the Worlds this year, travelling to America, the Worlds, they have weight classes, and that was the main sort of motivation for pushing towards the WNBF, was because at the pro level they will have sort of bantamweight, lightweight, middleweight and heavyweight. And that gives me an opportunity, I feel, to sort of compete against other people that don't have a size advantage or anything like that. Then literally it's down to the aesthetic, condition, symmetry, and obviously presentation's a big part of that as well. So today's, we're just going to hit a bit of a leg session. Now normally this is a topic, a conversation I had with a few of my clients. 95% of the time I talk about, creating mesocycles and sticking with the sort of same exercise profiles for a given period of time. With those, you're looking to make progressions. That means like increasing reps, weight, or some other mode of intensity and techniques. But what I felt, because I've had shows pretty much every fortnight, and 4 shows deep, the 5th one will be this weekend, I've kind of auto-regulated my training, so just based on how I'm feeling. And so if energy's a little bit subpar, then it means you take the pressure off yourself. You're not trying to hit a program that you were able to nail successfully last week. So fortunately today I feel actually pretty good. So I've just literally written down like a little microcycle program for this week that I should be able to sort of see through. Then whenever it gets to Thursday and Friday, we'll just be looking to move maybe a little bit of blood around, and then complete rest, potentially maybe on the Friday, but certainly on the Saturday, to get ready to compete on Sunday. So this will be the last leg session. I'm always aware whenever you're 6 days away from a show not to overdo it with volume or stress, so hold back a little bit on working sets, just to make sure that all the information is gone by the time the show day comes around, because we need to be showing off them striations. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this session today. We're training a little bit later because we had a wee bit of work, some calls to make this morning, all the fun parts of running a business. So yeah, still running on a high from the pro card last week, and it's been fantastic just interacting with a lot of the members from the compound room as well this week. A lot of them were very excited and very, very encouraging, just with, obviously they seen the footage as well, and they obviously seen the YouTube video. Unfortunately, the YouTube vlog, as I said, from the last week's show, the PCA British Finals, most of it was phone footage because we had left the proper camera at home, or back at the apartment. So this week, obviously, hopefully it'll be a little bit more professional. So we'll get stuck in, and as always, like and subscribe, do all the good stuff. So exercise 1, we're going to start off with the seated leg curl. I'm going to shift the back pad forward because I'm going to try to accrue as much knee flexion as possible. In terms of body position, what I'm going to look to do, once I get myself clamped in as hard down as I can, it looks pretty good there, I'm actually going to flex the hip, so I'm going to lean forward into it. What this is going to allow me to do is just sort of stretch the hamstring a little bit more, so it'll make it a little bit more difficult in the length and range for that muscle. I feel that my ability to generate force is a little bit inhibited but I'm going to regress the set back into this position where I feel that I'm going to be able to generate more force to continue the set. So the target here, I'm going to start off reasonably heavy here, so I'm going to try and end up with 8 to 10 really good strong reps, really controlling that eccentric, and then I'm going to sit back into this position to continue the set. Hopefully I'll be able to get up around double figures with that regression as well. Okay, so let's go. This is set 1. So get it into active range and then contract through. Good control. So that makes it, that was very, very difficult there. Obviously whenever we go into the regression set, we're extending the hips slightly. So what we need to understand is the hamstrings, all 3 of the hamstrings actually originate on that ischial tuberosity or the sit bone. So whenever I flex forward, I'm changing the position. I'm actually pulling the origin round the corner, and as a result that's going to allow us to stretch the hamstring a little bit more. And then as I go back, allowing the hip and the hip to extend slightly, it's going to put me in a more favourable position to generate more force, and that's why I'm able to continue that set the way that we did. So we're just going to do 2 sets of that. Set 1 down, and that's already burning like crazy. Fucking hell. That was heavy. So just for some shits and giggles, we're going to do pendulum, just a drop set. So first, the heavy set I'll probably end up hopefully in around sort of 8 reps, and if I do this right, it'd be like an RPE 8 or 9. Particularly if you're doing a set on your own without a spotter, I don't recommend trying to push to an RPE 10 on a pendulum squat. So I'm going to start off with the heavy. I'll strip down probably 2 20 kg plates, and then I'll just push out like with slightly faster tempo, just for the drop set, just so I can still accrue enough volume in the quads over the course of 2 working sets. So let's get after it. Oh, fuck. Okay. Shit. Oh, absolutely brutal. Next exercise will be the prime leg extension. So we are going to put a wee bit more stress on the short range for set 1. Set 2, then we're going to move it into mid and lengthened, and we'll use a regression strategy on that one. So first of all, we'll just do 1 set in the shortened range. So if you are going to use like a prime piece or some piece of kit that you can modify the strength profile, if your intention is to load into the shortened range, then your intention should also be to try and spend some time in there. So once I contract through into that short range towards that peak contraction, I want to really try and hold and contract as hard into the quads I possibly can. So I'm going to get myself pulled into the bench, right through, hold. And it's okay to use a bit of acceleration on the concentric. Just ensure the knee joint is the only joint that you're trying to move. Yep. 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 One more. Yep. Oh, that is a burn. Shit. So I'm going to end up doing 2 sets, which are going to favour the mid and lengthened range. So there is some EMG analysis data that suggests that whenever the more the knee is flexed, the lateral head becomes a little bit more active. So if you are trying to create more of a quad sweep, which should be the ambition of most people unless you're already genetically blessed in that area, you know, we want as much as sweep to the quads as possible, because it's that's going to help create the illusion of the waist being more tapered, and then obviously it just helps influence this more whenever we think about the silhouette of somebody's physique being more of an X frame from the quads going into the waist and then back out through the lats. So that's kind of the shape that we're looking to try and create. So we want to grow that shape from the roots upwards, so we're thinking about the legs, creating as much here. So whenever we're focusing on that lengthened range, again, we need to make sure that if you are loading the mid and lengthened range, we should be trying to pull this here in as far under the seat as possible. So that's going to allow us to not just load the lateral head a little bit more, but allow us to create more active range within that area of knee flexion. So I'm going to do a regression set here. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to achieve 10 to 12 full reps, and then I'm just going to do maybe 15 to 20 partial reps, so it'll be like bottom thirds. And it's that where we're actually bypass that lactic threshold, and it's going to be extremely uncomfortable to stay in that set, almost to the point where it looks like you're on fire trying to get out of the actual machine itself. So let's get some. Again, the handle shape on the prime piece in particular, instead of holding here, I kind of prefer like a pronated grip, because it just allows me to pull the hips down and glutes down and back into the seat. So brace. Okay. Again, if I'm trying to create more stress in the lengthened, spend a little bit more time there controlling the eccentric towards the bottom, contract. Yep. Yeah, that was good. Okay, let's get that burn. Whoa! Right on cue. Shit. Oh, the potency. That is incredible. Beautiful set. So going to hit into adductors. Nothing fancy here. Again, we just talk about adductor means to add. So we're just trying to add your inner knee into the center line. So that's all we're trying to do. Add and create that contraction concentrically here. Again, you've 5 muscles which sort of make up the adductors. So the most that those are in synergy is whenever you are fully adducted here. So you'll notice like the further you go out, you feel the stretch a little bit further up, more towards sort of the origins. But whenever you're trying to get all of them to recruit, effectively quite even, you want to try and bring it right into that short range and spend a little bit of time in there. So try not to bring it in using momentum and then allowing it to bounce out. Try to bring it in and grab it, and then control the eccentric. So during the eccentric component, what I'm visualizing here is pressure between the pad and the inner thigh. And imagine that you were trying to read using a pressure mat, the pounds of pressure per square inch between those 2 points of contact, so this and you were trying to maintain that same pressure the whole way through the eccentric. So your brain kind of wants your leg to get away from the pressure, because then that means you're going to create effectively an easier portion of that lift. But if we maintain that pressure between those 2 points, then the amount of exertion is going to stay very, very high. So I'm just going to do two working sets. One set we're going to go reasonably heavy here, so it's actually the full stack on this. I'm going to aim in around sort of 8 to 10. So based on the performance of some of the other movements today, I feel like fatigue is coming a little bit quicker, which isn't uncommon whenever you're so far into prep. And this has been 4 shows down already, with 2 more still to go. So I'm feeling the performance has still been fairly good. Activation's been good, tension maintenance has been very, very good as well. But I just feel maybe I'm losing 1 or 2 reps where, so I'm a little bit below what my expectation was going into each of these sets. So we'll see how this feels. Yeah, should be interesting. Let's go. Just get myself in. Create that pressure first before I even start to move. And then contract through. Wow, you really feel that straight away. Okay, control. Yeah, right on cue. Once we finish with the competitive season, we'll be going back into utilising the strategy of mesocycle and putting together good plans again based on sort of performances throughout the year. Starting to try to redeem, not that I'd lost a lot of strength through the majority of this season, but we're trying to recoup and pull myself back into a very healthy position of performance. And then from there we can start to make plans and projections for targets that we want to hit within the training cycling side of things over the next sort of year. Certainly we'll be taking next year out. Have been asked to sort of guest pose already for next year, but the likelihood is probably won't take up on that because I don't want to be having to hold myself into too tight or too good a condition whenever I'm really wanting to emphasize the gaining phase. I will not be untidy. I won't just get horrendously fat. Hopefully I deliver with that promise, but what we will look to do is just, once again, like we did last year, focus on the performance and all the finer details, and then your physique is a byproduct of those things. So it's okay in your head imagining how you could potentially look at the end of a full year off season, or if you've only got a shorter period of time, what you would want to look like. But that vision's very, very difficult. It's like an artist trying to visualize what that painting's going to look like, but not have all the paints or the correct brushes or utensils. what we're looking to do is put together the utensils or the toolkit first of all, so making sure that you're sharpening your skills, make sure you have access to the right equipment which is going to help you. So that's, whether it's picking a better gym. Thankfully in here the owner buys in pretty good equipment, so it's going to benefit myself, it's going to benefit everybody else that trains under this roof. But there's a lot of really good training environments across the UK, across the world, that people can sort of select. My advice to anybody that's looking to train is really find a great place for you to train, whether that's in a commercial gym or my preference is trying to find out sort of private gyms, where the owner's probably going to be on that property and has got invested interest both financially and emotionally to not just the environment but the equipment that he or she invests in as well. So source out like really good local gyms, and plus it's nice to sort of support smaller local businesses rather than just the sort of massive conglomerates or franchises. So just things for thinking about whatever what you're going to do in this off season. Get the environment that's going to help create that look that you're looking to achieve, and obviously in those places it tends to be filled with really good motivational people as well. So I've just got one more set, I'm not going to record it. We'll probably look to aim maybe to try and steal another 3 to 4 reps if I can, and that'll take me closer to a technical RPE 10, and then that'll be the session finished. So I just want to thank you again for tuning in to today's session, and I look forward to updating you just on the progress that we make over the next sort of couple of weeks. Myself and Edel will definitely be taking the proper camera to the next show, so hopefully the quality of the videography will be a lot better than last weekend. So all I can do is apologise for that. Hopefully you still got the gist as to how the show went last weekend with the PCA, and you're able to take something from it, even if it just sort of killed boredom for 25 minutes. Then I'll be a happy man. So once again, thank you. If you can, hopefully it doesn't fall on deaf ears, subscribe. I just want to push above 200 subscribers and hopefully continue to climb from there. If I'm getting enough feedback, I'll continue to do the videos and the vlogs once I finish the competitive season. But if I don't feel like I'm getting enough sort of feedback from people, I probably won't have the motivation, I'll just be honest, to continue this beyond the end of the competitive year. So if you can, do the good stuff, and we'll catch up then next week, hopefully same time, same place.